Yo, what is up, YouTube? It is 9 a.m. and I'm about to start working. But first, I was gonna make a little video about how my first week on Duloxetin went. By the way, I'm not a doctor, and everything I'm sharing is my own personal experience, and it could very well differentiate with you. Got myself some tasty Nutella bread and my secret recipe coffee, and I'm gonna talk about all the things that happened and all the side effects and everything. All right, so let's get into it. First, I want to mention why I'm taking duloxetine. I've been diagnosed with severe depression and very, very intrusive and negative thoughts. So I think that's enough for you to know I could be a good candidate for this medicine. Not only though is there a depression going on, but also I have physical pain in terms of nerve pain. I got scoliosis up my thoracic area, C4, C up to C7 is having a little bit of an issue. They call it a degenerate disc disease, and therefore I'm having a bunch of nerve pain. So the doctor said we can kill two birds with one stone and try duloxetine for my mental health and also for the physical pain. I said yes, and here we are. So I went into all of this pretty calm and relaxed. I did not worry a little bit. So even though it was said to be a pretty heavy medication, I watched a bunch of reports of people and how they say it improved their life big time, and I was imagining myself of becoming one of them. But also, of course, I watched the dark side, I suppose, of getting off, for example, of the medication, which is supposed to be really hard. So, yeah, we will cross that bridge when we get there. But hmm, hopefully, the positives are going to outweigh the negative. And I do not think I want to take this for the rest of my life. So I'm going to have to face the withdrawal at some point. But as I said, we're going to cross that bridge when we get there. So, day one, exactly 1 week ago, what happened? The first capsule I was taking around 3 p.m. And after 2 hours in, I felt quite tired, I suppose, and just went to bed. And that went on with all the days I can mention right now. So, like a little bit after 2 hours after taking the medicine, I would always just go into bed and go for a nap. I'm usually not taking naps, or at least currently, this state of the day or this time of the day, anyways, not taking naps at all right now. So this was definitely due to the medication. It made me a little bit sleepy, and it just made me have this urge to go to sleep, and that's what I did. And then when I woke up to a pleasant surprise. So day one, let me just read all the side effects that occurred to me, and I got all of them on day one already, and then they tapered off during the week. But yeah, it's a lot. So I got them here. So nausea, dizziness, lightheadedness, dry mouth. The dry mouth was insane. Like no matter how much water I drink, I had a dry mouth. Fatigue, tiredness, and then the very first day I had a big time trouble falling asleep. However, none of the other days, so only the first time. Decreased appetite. I felt a little bit coming on, though I was still able to eat. Increased sweating for sure. Never mind my hand. So as I said, it's so many, it doesn't even fit on a hand. A little bit of constipation. I felt like constipation, but not really. Maybe I drank too little, but maybe I just needed to drink like even more, though I did drink so much. Still, it was all good. Increased sweating, definitely increased sweating. I got hot flashes every few minutes, then every few hours. It was random. Slight headache for sure. Yawning. The yawning was so crazy. That was the first time I had this kind of sensation, especially on the first day. Whenever I would yawn, and I could not try and redo this sensation by just taking a deep breath of that sort, But when I would yawn and then exhale, it felt like I would exhale my whole body and my soul, and it would drain me of all energy for like a millisecond, and then it would all come rushing back to me. It was so crazy. Like I would yawn, and the moment I stopped yawning, it felt like as if I'm getting drained, like ringed from the outside, from the inside to the outside, and all of my energy, all of my power would leave my body, and I would have zero strength left, like for a 10 seconds, for a little 1 2 seconds max, and then it would all like rush back to me. It was super crazy, and I would like yawn many times and feel it coming on, and yeah, I didn't know how to handle it. It just happened, and I was just observing it. It was crazy. Feeling jittery, restless, yep, jaw tension, muscle tightness, and yeah, I would be feeling as if I needed to throw up all evening. So after I woke up, I immediately had the feeling of having to throw up. I didn't, but for the rest of the day, like I don't know how much hours I was awake, like maybe 6 to 8 hours or so. I was just thinking I was gonna throw up in a second. What else? I've gotten some heart palpitations, so I've definitely noticed my heart beat faster and stronger. Blurred vision, yep. So that was crazy throughout all of the week. At some point in the day, at some point of the medicine coming on, I would have blurred vision. I did not have any stomach pain, did not have any diarrhea, none of that. However, I had shaking and tremor, especially my brain would feel like it's shaking and tremor. And that then translated into my body feeling that way, but I did feel it strongly in my brain. Hot flashes, I think I already mentioned. And yeah, I was very sleepy during the day. That was a little bit annoying because I was actually taking this medicine to get a little bit more drive because after all, I'm managing a business and hoping that this medicine would get me, back online to start working more and be able to just work more. But yeah, let's see how this is gonna fare within the next week. Difficulty concentrating and brain fog. Definitely, I had brain fog going on. I still have brain fog going on. I'm sometimes lost of words or phrases, and I just can't get them back into my head, and it feels really crazy, as if I'm like stoned. And yeah, let's hope this is also gonna subside. Irritability. I did feel like I was a little bit more irritable. I'm pretty chill guy, I feel like, but some stuff did irritate me. And yeah, it was not, however, not that much to get me like into a true mood swing from being chill to being aggressive or something. But yeah, I definitely noticed it. And I think that was it. So yeah, still a bunch of stuff, dude. Wow, like everything I mentioned happened during the first day, and it was absolute chaos. It was a absolute storm within my head, within my whole body, and I was just observing it, being a passenger on this ride, and yeah, trying to take a step back out of my mind and just observing it, trying to understand it, accept what's going on, and it was quite interesting, definitely. So this is how day one ended. I was awake up until like 4 a.m. or so, and then I woke up with the driest ever dry mouth, and I just could not get to get it moist. Alrighty, so before I move on to day two, let me just tell you, if you're a man or even a woman nowadays, I don't know, I guess you might have this one too. I'm gonna mention something that is about our, hmm, talk about it later. So, day two was really rough because that's when the brain tremors started really occurring, and I was very shaky on my legs. Whenever I would walk, I would feel very dizzy and like not having balance. But while walking, that was the worst thing. Like my brain felt as if it was like disconnected from my head, but at the same time, it was inside my head, and it was like behind my everything behind my eyes would basically it was like floating in within my head, and whenever I would move, it would move first, and when I was moving, and if I would stop, it would like pull back. It was so crazy, guys. I cannot explain you the sensation, but it felt like I was detached from my brain somewhat, and I had to like I was able to like steer it. So when I would move, I would be able to like move in a way that makes it a little bit smoother or less smooth for my brain to move. I do not know why this happened, but this is what was the case. So that was very, very fun. Not really. That was actually getting quite annoying, but I got through it. And I was a little bit scared this is gonna happen, this is gonna stay like this for the whole week, and thankfully it did not. So day two, basically just this brain tremor, brain shakiness, craziness going on, and hot flashes were still apparent. Dizziness, as I said, a dry mouth, and I think that's pretty much it. Everything else that I said for day one was still there, but very like much much less, to a much much lesser degree. So and then we came into day three. Damn, there's some good coffee. Recipe in the description. So day three comes around, and that was the weirdest thing ever. Like the brain tremors were still apparent, but not as much. However, now we get into the now it gets crazy. So I would feel like I was dreaming all throughout the day, and nothing felt real whenever I would close my eyes and open them. And like that happened like every time, but then as well I would forget every time about it, and sometimes I would focus on it, and it would like it would the effect would be increased. Holy shit, what has happened, dude? So whenever I would close my eyes and open them back up, it felt like time would skip, like I was missing time. And as I said, like it happened like constantly, but in a way that I could not like focus on it that much, as it happened that much that I could not even focus on it anymore. And then when I focused on it, it was like very, very rough, like very strong. And it happens like randomly. I would just feel like I lost hours, and sometimes I did, and sometimes I did not. It was a really surreal experience, and I was pretty much giggling all of the day, just because this was so fun to me. Um, I want to stress again, I actually did manage to, because of I guess meditation that I'm doing, be able to step out of my mind, out of my thoughts, and just being able to observe. And even though it's the chemicals doing their work, I was just able to just watch them work. And that was crazy. And I did absolutely understand what was happening, a rewiring of my brain and just an overload, and not being understanding, not being able to understand what was happening, because I've never had this sort of chemical, this new chemical balance that was happening. I never had that before, so I needed to get to, like adjusted to it. Very, very surreal experience, guys. And yeah, yeah, I feel like it could be bad for some people, as they could go crazy from this. But yeah, I was able to manage it. It was quite cool. I think I don't give the like describing it like this does not give the whole sensation all of the justice that it deserves, because it's just been crazy. I've taken a step back outside of my mind basically and just observed it and accepted it. So I don't know what else to tell you about it. So day four was actually just like day three, just a little less time skipping and more brain fog. That was quite annoying because, if I remember correctly, I was streaming and talking to people, and every time I would say something, I would be like lost for words, and that was quite annoying because I just could not remember what the hell I was wanting to say. And yeah, I at that point I really felt like a time traveler. It did not happen as much anymore, but it was still very prominent, I suppose is the word, whenever I would randomly get to focus on it. And yeah, focus at all was very different. As I said, like my neurons were just firing all the time, and it was crazy. It was like a very lucid experience, like still very dreamy. And yeah. However, all the other side effects like hot flashes and the jittery and stuff really calmed down. They were still there, but much, much, much less. So overall, like body-wise, I felt physically, I felt much, much better. I can't say I felt good because it was still going on, but I felt like so much better. The relief from like this day compared to day one, insane. Like very, very much better. And I think that's it. Yeah, I'm just starting to get better, I guess, at that point. So day five comes around and I'm feeling good. Hot flash is still there. A little bit of jittery. As I said, everything was still going on, but on a way, way, way easier, less level, like pretty chill. Also getting used to it, so it was not that annoying anymore. Um, that day was when I begin to understand what I'm doing is actually, it is purely, it is biohacking. This is like next level of myself. Like this is me without a depression. I have started to realize what I'm doing here is crazy because I've never felt like this before. In that negative thoughts would just like not even like phase me. I had some negative thoughts coming on that day, and I would just look at them with my inner eye, basically, just look at them and smile through it and just think, go away, you're annoying. Like you don't face me anymore. Like why are you here? It doesn't matter. Mm, like I don't worry about you anymore. This was so crazy, and that effect just increased up until today, and I guess it's gonna stay like this. So I'm quite glad this is how it is right now, and this was the outcome I was hoping for. I feel pretty good now. I'm I'm like having these negative thoughts being dampened basically, but the positive ones are still okay. I feel fun and I feel fun and happy, I guess. And yeah, it's weird to say, but if you think about my depression being like a sine curve, and you have the ups and downs, the downs would be like always very bad for me, and then the ups would like barely get to baseline, like to zero, maybe a little bit over into the positive to be like happy. And now I feel like the downs are so much smaller dips, and I'm like so much more to baseline now, and it feels great. It just feels great. I say it's biohacking because I feel myself being able to basically push these negative thoughts aside and focus on something else, which is exactly what I wanted. This is the goal basically achieved. So I'm very much looking forward to this state being like this and staying like this because this means I can focus on other stuff like my business and my hobbies, streaming and the YouTube channel without having, getting back into the depression. And let's see how it's gonna be. I am very much curious and hopeful. So it's a lot of hopium, but I think it's justified. Like I like it. It's really nice. Um, in terms of side effects, like negative ones, they have been subsiding more and more, as I said. And yeah, it feels really, really good. Now let's touch upon the sexual side of this. So this might be TMI for a bunch of you, but as I said, I'm gonna talk about everything. So starting day one, day two, maybe I already figured out. Okay, this is how it's gonna be. So I've lost all sort of like sexual drive. I'm like it doesn't interest me anymore, and this is crazy because I've been hypersexual all my life. And basically, it's not like I have dead pants, but I just don't care about it. Like I have all these bitches in my DMs, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'm good. Like, no, thank you. And it doesn't faze me at all. However, when I do want to, get action, it's possible. So it's not like I have dysfunction. And let me tell you, it is not only possible, but the erections I'm having right now are so powerful. I'm thinking like WTF. This has to be because of the medicine, and I hope it's actually gonna stay like this because this is ridiculous. So it's like I'm not getting turned on, but if I want to, I can. And then a negative though, I guess, is my orgasms are very delayed, like giga delayed. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how this is gonna work. But I guess I can perform, and yeah, I'm not sure how it's gonna be, for my significant other, because they might have to work a lot for it. Sorry for the TMI, but yeah, this is interesting for at least the male viewers here, I know for sure. So yeah, that's what's going on. I'm actually worried that this balance that is going on right now, I really like it, and I'm worried that it's gonna be disrupted in any sort of form if I'm increasing the dosage, because my doctor said we're gonna start off with 2 weeks on 30 milligrams, and I'm gonna up the dose to 60 milligrams. That would be next week. So I'm not sure if I want to do that. I mean, I can maybe try and see what's gonna happen, and then always go back to this to 30 milligrams. But the way it's right now, I feel really, really good. So I don't know. I really don't know. It's a lot of trial and error still. I'm gonna have to figure out what's gonna happen and how my body performs and everything and how I like it. But yeah, we are still in the first week, so everything is possible and everything has to be tested yet. I'm gonna keep you guys up to date. I think that is everything. I did not forget about anything. Maybe I did. If not, if yes, I'm just gonna mention it in the next video, which is gonna be in the next week. So I'm gonna stop the weekly uploads for now, because I think there's not gonna be much difference now for the upcoming week. But I'm gonna let you guys know next week and how if I'm gonna decide of upping the dose to 60 milligrams. I hope this was informative for you, and if you're thinking about hopping on an SSNRI like a Dulox, if it makes any sense for you. So far, I would say I'm quite okay with it. I'm lost of words again, so my brain fog is definitely still here. They say the side effects are gonna take like up to a month. It's absolutely possible until you're like regulated again and alleviated of these side effects. Let's see. I'm gonna keep you guys up to date, as I said. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. GG. Thank you. Bye.